Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today it's January 25th, 2025, and this is a pretty special day for me and the channel because it was 3 years ago today that I posted my very first video. January 25th, 2022, posted my very first video, and now today I am, this is the celebration of completing 3 years of making videos, and what a blast it's been. You know, first and foremost, I know there's people out there that are thinking, should they start doing videos? And I would tell you, do it. You know, just like everybody else, I was kind of collecting on my own. I didn't know what to expect. I was hoping a few people would like it. It still amazes me the amount of people that actually watch any of my videos, but what you don't get is just how inviting this community is and how friendly they are. And I've made a lot of people that I consider to be friends, you know, through this platform. So if you, for any reason, are thinking about making videos and you haven't yet, go ahead and do it. You know, for me, it's been quite a ride. You know, a lot of things have changed. When I first started making videos, my wife was still working. She's since been retired for almost 3 years. 2 of my 3 daughters were still in college. Both of those daughters have graduated. They're out there in the working world, along with my oldest daughter, and they're all doing very well. And then just recently, I retired. So, you know, I told a few people come June of last year, my company did a reorganization, and my boss and my job were eliminated. And, you know, they gave me a severance package through the end of the year, and I took some time off, did some traveling with my wife, thought about, you know, do I want to go back to work or not? And, you know, I'm 64, and I was planning on retiring at 65 anyway. I'm lucky enough that financially, you know, my wife and I are in a great place, so I don't need to work. And I've decided that, you know, it's just time to do the next phase of my life. And the cool thing about it is, you know, when you retire, you know, a lot of time, you spend a lot of time at work. So you have to have some things to fill that time. And that's one of the great things I like about this hobby. I look forward to this hobby helping me fill it. You know, I'm looking to potentially get into selling some cards to help fund my collecting. I'm also, you know, hopefully going to get better at making videos. No guarantees there because I'm still a little bit technologically challenged. And I do plan on, but I do plan on this hobby filling a lot of the time, and it's going to be great because instead of work, which I enjoyed my career, I had a really good career and I was compensated very well. But at the end of the day, you know, it's not like this hobby. It's not something you love. It wasn't something I loved, and as opposed to cards. So that's a lot that's changed. You know, for 2025, I want to talk a little bit about the channel. You know, nothing's really changed. Last year, I had some specific goals. I made a list of, I think, 110 cards I wanted to pick up. I picked up some of those cards. I still probably added a few more on. My list is still right around 105 cards, and there's still some big ones I want to get. In order to get those big cards, I've decided I'm going to sell off some of my doubles, and it took me kind of a year to figure it out. But I do have some cards sitting out on COMC right now. I have some other cards that I've sent to Greg Morris after watching some other people's videos. So, and I'm hoping that some of the proceeds there will help fund some of the bigger buys for this year. You know, I still hope to get better at making videos, and I hope to continue to interact more with the community. This has been a great year for me as far as, you know, John P collects cards, and I started Bargain Hunters, and it's been so well received, and I've had a blast doing it with John, and other members are asking to come on and do guest appearances, which is exactly what I was hoping would happen when we started this thing. You know, I was lucky enough to be on with Sammy and Jason Everyday Card Collector on their new show. And, you know, I've also had the opportunity locally to go out with Jason, Everyday Card Collector, and Mitchell, White Sox fan card collector, to some shows together. We were on a text thread together, and it's really cool. And I hope to, you know, it's not easy for me. I'm believe it or not, a little more shy than, once you know me, you'll never get me to shut up, but it's not easy for me just to start talking to people that I don't know all that well. And, but I'm looking forward to meeting more people. I'm hoping to get to Strongsville this year. It coincides really close with my middle daughter's birthday, but I think I'm going to be able to make it there. I know I'll be at the National because it's in Chicago, and I can figure out how to squeeze a day or so there. And I'm hoping to just meet more people, interact more with more of you, and, you know, and continue to grow the friendships, take them to a different level. So I'm looking forward to that. As far as the collecting goes, the other thing I'm still doing is trying to, I have about 200 cards. I had about 200 cards last year, and I graded about 50, or I graded about 80. And I still have about 200 cards that I want to get graded. You know, some of them probably aren't grade worthy, but for me, you know, I just want them slabbed into my collection. So, but it does take some of the hobby budget away. So what I've decided to do this year is maybe focus more on picking up less ungraded cards. I'll still do it. When I see a good one, I'll pick it up, trust me. But there are some great deals on some graded cards out there also. So I'm going to try to focus on some graded cards, and I'm going to try to be a little more focused on what I pick up. So, you know, over the last couple of years, I've spent a decent amount of money, and, you know, I'm hoping to be stick a little bit more to my budget this year. It has nothing to do with being retired. It just has to do with, you know, it's the right thing to do, right? And so I've set a budget that's inclusive of picking up cards and of grading cards. And I hope to, you know, my goal is maybe instead of picking up 3, 4, 5 $40 cards in a month, maybe I pick up a $200-$300 card, which is a little bit of what I did in January. And that's the second part of this video. I kind of just wanted to let people know where the channel's at and a little bit about where I want to go. But I also want to share my pickups from January. Plus, I have 2 pickups that were late 2024 pickups. So I made my final 2024 video. I had forgotten about one pickup, and the other pickup didn't arrive. Arrived literally like on the 31st of December. So I'm going to share, I think, 6-7 cards with you guys. They'll be the first cards of 2025. In addition, I've also sent in my first submission to SGC for 2025, and I expect to have that back in about a week. So should have some fun content. So how about we flip the camera and take a look at my January purchases. Okay, so I'm going to share with you 8 cards. 6 of them were, I got the tail end of 2024, and for January, I only made 2 pickups this month, plus what I sent off to SGC to be graded. But the one pickup is one I'm really excited about. It's a little bigger pickup, so nothing major, but bigger. So let me start out. The first, I bought a lot. I saw a lot on eBay of these Pedro Martinez 1991 Upper Deck cards, and there were 5 of them, and they were all graded, and I ended up putting in a bid, and I won them for $22 out the door. I think it was right around $30. So I got each of them for about $6 each, and they're all 5 are graded by different grading companies. So this first one is graded by Advanced Grading Company. You know, I was able to find some comps on this thing. They sold about, and they're all in 9s, by the way. He sold for about $9 or $10. So I picked up the lot. The first one, like I said, is Advanced Grading. I also have one in a BVG slab in a 9. There's one in the PSA slab in a 9. And they're all, really nice looking cards for, literally $6 each. And then the last one is, well, not the last one, the second to last one is in an SGC holder, which is, my preference for grading cards. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of an older slab. So, I'm okay with it. I know me, so I'd probably want to send this in to be slabbed in a newer slab, but it's still a beautiful card. And then the last one, it was actually in a slab called Mint, which, I didn't know much about, but I thought the card itself looked fantastic. So I broke that one out of the slab, and that's this one right here. And I'm thinking I may send this to SGC, and I think it hopefully comes back a 9. And then I will have the version I want in the slab I want. The other 4 slabs, I'm not sure. I mean, I bought them with the intention to resell them, maybe make a little bit of profit. I don't know, though. I may give them away to the community. I may, so haven't figured out what I'm going to do with it. It's just one of those deals that came along that I couldn't resist. I got 5 graded Pedro Martinez cards for $6 a card. So anyway, that's the first set of late last year. And then at the end of the year, I knew this one was coming in, but I'd kind of forgotten about it when I made my video. But I picked up this beautiful 1976 Jim Rice Gold Cup. And, it's his first solo card. And first of all, I love the 76 set. I think it's one that doesn't get talked about enough in the 70s. It's such a cool looking set. And there's some great cards out there. And look at this beauty. I mean, this card is just absolutely gorgeous. And, I got a great deal on it, and it's his second year card, first solo card. In my submission that I sent to SGC, I did send in his rookie card, so I'm looking forward to getting that back. But I was really stoked to pick this card up. There's a lot of really nice looking 76 cards that can be had at a decent price. So grab the second year Jim Rice. And then for this year, for the first month, for me, I only picked up 2 cards, which, as you know, is pretty unusual. The first card I picked up, so this month, or this episode of Bargain Hunters, is Willie McCovey for $35. And I picked this card up, and then I saw another card that I liked even more. I'm happy with both cards, but this card is not the one I'm going to use in the episode. But look at this beautiful 1968 Willie McCovey in a PSA 6. What a gorgeous card. Just absolutely gorgeous card. I do own it in a raw version, which, once again, the plan is to sell it or give it away, or, in a contest or something. I don't know. But I saw this one and I absolutely loved it. And I picked this up for $35, and I was pretty excited to get it for $35. And I thought for sure I had my entry. And then I found another card that I like even more, that I'm really excited to share when John and I do get around to filming the next episode. So stay tuned on that one. A little bit of a little bit to keep you thinking. And then the last card, and this is the big card I picked up, is, Mitchell, White Sox fan, everyday card collector, he picked up a beautiful Orlando Cepeda at a shop that I used to go to. So there's really, there were 4 shops within 20 minutes of me, 2 20 minutes east, 2 20 minutes west. One of the cards that used to be more vintage to the west closed, and the other one was more, they were less vintage. So I stopped going there. And then Mitchell went and said, hey, they got some nice vintage there. Here's what I picked up. So I needed supplies, so I went to take a look, and the first thing I saw was this beautiful 1970 Nolan Ryan in an SGC5. And this card is on my list of cards, as was the Jim Rice, by the way, the 76. They're on that 105 list that I mentioned earlier. This one is one of my favorite Nolan Ryan cards, probably my second favorite Nolan Ryan card. I think he's got so many good ones. I love the 69, the 70. I also love the 72 and the 75. But this one's been on my hit list for a while. I walked in there, and you know, it was $250, and you know, I've been pricing these things for a while, and $250 is really fair for this card. So so I grabbed it, and this was on January 2nd. So right away, I bought, between that and the SGC submission that I sent in the very next day, I'd pretty much used most of my budget. I used the budget for January. So it's been, and I'm trying to adhere to it. So I'm trying to do a little bit of discipline, but I love this card. And, you know, to me, I'd rather have this one card than 3 or 4 other cards. And that's kind of the direction I want to take it next year. So, or this year. Anyway, I know this video is getting a little long, so I appreciate you guys, as always, taking the time to watch it. I should have an SGC reveal coming out pretty soon, probably by next week. Until we talk again, stay safe, keep collecting.